Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today is a Sunday and I've decided to film a little what I eat in a day video for you guys today. So as always, all of the recipes featured in today's video are paleo, gluten-free and dairy-free. And all of them tend to be fairly simple because that's just the way that I personally like to cook. I don't like to follow a lot of really complex recipes, so hopefully you guys enjoy that too. And without further ado, we will jump straight into the video and I'm just going to go and make myself some breakfast now. So it is breakfast time and I'm going to make a green breakfast bowl. So this is probably going to take a little bit more time than your standard breakfast, but that's totally okay because it's a Sunday and it's a little bit more relaxed and there's more time. I'm going to get straight to it and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm making. So for this green breakfast bowl, what I'm going to be using is a big bunch of kale, an avocado, some free-range pastured eggs, some mushrooms, and then we always like to add sauerkraut to everything. So to get started, I'm just going to wash off some of our kale and then I'm going to just pull the leaves off of the stalks so that we can saute them in a little bit of coconut oil. So now that you have all of your kale de-stemmed and washed, we're just going to saute this over on a pan on low heat with a little bit of coconut oil and salt. And this is going to be the base of the bowl. So we have a lot of kale here, but I promise you it's going to wilt down quite a lot once we add a little bit of heat. So let's do it. And I'm also going to add a little bit of filtered water just to help wilt down the kale. Okay, so now that we have done our kale and we've popped that into our bowl, I'm gonna go ahead and cook some mushrooms. So I've got some really tiny little button mushrooms here today, and I'm just gonna rinse these off and cook them whole because they're so tiny.
Walking downtown and I'm okay. He's got it all figured out. It's what they all say, yeah.
So while our mushrooms are cooking, I'm actually going to start boiling some eggs. So I'm just gonna add some regular water into our pot, pop our eggs in and get that boiling. And it should be 5 minutes from boiling to get the perfect, slightly googly egg. Okay, so breakfast is all done and I'm just going to go outside and enjoy this on our little table outdoors. Okay, so it is just about lunchtime and today I'm going to be making a paleo Mexican inspired burrito bowl. So basically what I'm going to be including in this is a salsa, guacamole, I think I'm going to put chicken with it, and I might also roast some sweet potato for some carbohydrate. But this recipe is actually really similar to another recipe that we have inside our Easy Paleo Meal Prep ebook. So if you didn't know already, we actually have an ebook that is full of recipes that are centered around lunchtime and meal prep, and of course they are all paleo. So I'll include a little link in the info box below if you're interested in checking that one out. So today I'm going to be making something that is really similar to one of the recipes that is inside that ebook. So I'll take you with me and let's get started. So first up I'm going to chop up some sweet potato for some carbohydrate, and I'm just going to pop that onto a lined tray and add some coconut oil, some salt and pepper, and pop that in the oven for about 30 minutes at 180 degrees. So now I'm actually going to make a salsa. So I'm going to be using 2 tomatoes, half of a red onion, some fresh organic coriander, and a squeeze of lime juice. So now that our salsa is all ready, we're just going to make some guacamole. So all you're going to need is a large avocado, some lime, and then salt and pepper. And if you feel like being extra fancy, you can also pop in some garlic as well for a little extra flavor. So I'm just going to use our garlic crusher. So once we've finished with our guacamole, the sweet potato should be done in the oven, so we're just going to pop that out and assemble. So we're going to start by putting some rocket as the base of our bowl. So we're going to wash the rocket and pop that into the bottom of our bowl. Then we're going to add our chicken, our salsa, and our sweet potato. And then finally we're going to put on a big dollop of guacamole. So this is actually one of my favorite meals to enjoy for lunch at the moment. It's really easy to put together and really whole natural ingredients, and the salsa just keeps everything really light and fresh, and the guacamole adds that little bit of creaminess, and adding a squeeze of lime on top also makes it super delicious.
I don't really care what they all say.
So for a little afternoon snack, we actually bought some of these Loving Earth chocolates, and we don't buy Loving Earth that often, so it's a real treat, and we're going to enjoy this. So I'm also going to enjoy it with some Brazil nuts. So Brazil nuts are one of my favorite, and they're also a slightly cheaper nut, and they are a good source of selenium, which is good for our thyroid health. So 2 Brazil nuts a day is a good little vitamin supplement. So we're going to get started on dinner while there is still a little bit of light outside so that you guys can see what's going on. But tonight we're going to be making a curry. So it's going to be quite a similar recipe to one that I think we have up on the blog. So it's sort of like a take on a butter chicken, but it's probably not really including the more traditional spices that a butter chicken would have, but it's like a tomato base, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna get started on that by roasting off some vegetables. So I'm gonna start with the eggplant and the sweet potato, and we'll take it from there. So what you'll need for this recipe is 1 whole red onion, a sweet potato, an eggplant, broccoli, or any other kinds of vegetables that you'd like to include, some ginger, some garlic, and then in terms of spices, we're going to keep things pretty simple. So we've got our turmeric, we've got cumin, we have our cardamom pods, which we're going to de-seed, and then we have some cinnamon. And then you will also need some passata and some coconut cream. And we will also be using some organic chicken thighs for our source of protein. So the first thing that we're going to do for this recipe is chop up a whole eggplant and a sweet potato, and I'm going to roast this in the oven to add to our curry later. And this is actually my secret for making a really nice curry, because it kind of breaks down the sweet potato and the eggplant, and it kind of thickens the sauce a bit. So I'm just going to pop that in the oven with some salt, pepper, and a little bit of coconut oil on about 180 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes. And then while those veggies are in the oven, we're just going to peel and dice up a large red onion, and we're just going to pop that into a large wok. And then we're also going to crush 2 to 3 cloves of garlic into our wok as well, and then peel and finely slice some fresh ginger. We're also going to add in some cardamom seeds. So these come in a pod, and all you need to do is crush them with the back of your knife and then peel them and take out the seeds. And then we're just going to pop all of that in our wok with some coconut oil and simmer it on a low heat for about 5 minutes. So while our onion is cooking, we're going to go ahead and chop up all of our chicken because that will be going in next after the dry spices. So we'll get started with that. It's a little bit of a messy job. So once the onion, garlic and cardamom has been cooking for a while, we're going to add in our dry spices. So I'm putting in about 2 teaspoons of cumin, though I just kind of eyeball it. And then I'm also going to add in some turmeric, again 1 to 2 teaspoons. And then finally some cinnamon, and this gives it a slightly sweet taste, so put in about a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then we're just going to let those spices cook for a little while so that they can release their flavor before we go ahead and add in the chicken, and we're just going to lightly seal that off for a few minutes. Next up, we're going to add in 1 can of full-fat coconut cream. And then we'll also add in about 300 grams of passata. So give it a good mix and then add in your broccoli and allow the curry to boil and simmer until the chicken is fully cooked and the broccoli is nice and tender. So now we have our final step. So once your roast veggies are all cooked, we're just going to pop them into the curry and give it a little stir, and we are ready to serve. So we're just sitting down to eat, and I've got my curry just here, but as you can tell, I don't have like a base for this meal. So a lot of people would expect there to be rice or cauliflower rice or something like that. Obviously we try to avoid rice as much as possible, though we do have it here and there. And I'm not a big fan of making cauliflower rice just because it is quite messy and I'm not super jazzed about the taste. So you could definitely do cauliflower rice though, that would be fine, and it would make a nice little base for your curry. But as it stands, there is plenty of carbohydrate in here from the sweet potatoes, and there's lots of veggies. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this little what I eat in a day video. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I hope you guys are all having a great week, and I'll see you in our next video. Bye!
Everyone's looking at me thinking that I'm different. Everyone's looking at me thinking that I'm living.